Agaracha must come back home. Maka na ugbu a ka okwu ha pụtara ihe. Okwu ha na-asị onye arụ ga erikwana. N'ihi na njọ Chukwu kere ụwa pụtara ihe sị na ọ bụ site n'ịdọgbu onwe anyị n'ọlụ ka anyị ga-esi wee nweta ndị ọnụ. Uwe sie n'ike ọkwa sị na enweghị anya hụrụ gbaa mmee. N'eziokwu anya ụfọdụ na-agbasi mmee taa n'ihi ọnọdụ obodo anyị. Ọkwara akwa alịlị na-akpata mmiri ịgba n'anya. Ụmụ ogbenye ka na-egbe akwa ọgaranya hicha ha anya mmiri, mana ọgaranya na-achọzi akwụkwọ na-ekpu ya taa. O ị na-achọ mgbe ọbara tapụ n'anya ụmụ mmadụ ka ị ga-ama na ịhụnanya anya gị ahụbeghị. Ofeke amaghị mgbe e kere nke ụkwa. Ịma mmadụ ole na-anwụle na-erighị nri ọnụ n'obodo anyị bụ Naịjirịa. Ụwa siri ike, ọgba aghara ajụ elu n'ala, ihe isi ike elu n'ala, a na-achụ ụmụ mmadụ n'ọlụ ka a na-achụ anụmanụ, nke meziri ụfọdụ ezinụlọ elu eru aka ala eru aka. Ụmụ mmadụ wee na-achọzi nri ọnụ by all means n'ihi ihe ụkọ nke pụtakwuru ịma mmazi ndị ori dị n'ọbara taa, ịma mmazi ndị anya ukwu na oke ọchịchọ dị n'ọbara. Onye ọbụla wee na-ebigharị isi aka elu n'ala, ihe ọbụla aka ya bichatara orie ma ọ bụ nke ma ọ bụghị nke, maka na ejighị anya agụ akpa oke ala. Onye anwụghị oke nke ọkwa ihe aka ya bichatara ịkpagbu n'ọnụ ya, isi agbụpụta ịgbụpụtaghị ọnwụ na ọ bụghị nke ọsịghị ọka mma. Ihe ọ na-achọ n'uke elu ka ya ọnwụrụ n'uke ala. Onye elu na-akpọ onye ori, onye ala ọ na-akpọ onye ori. Mana ka m gwa gị eziokwu, ụfọdụ dị more dangerous than the criminals through their beak or their pen. Ụwa siri ike, mana Jehova bụ onye inye aka m n'ihi na amaghịzi onye bụ onye.
You are welcome once again to my program. May God bless you. I am your humble servant, Evangelist Collins Inyima, greeting you from Valencia City of Spain, and most especially greeting you in the name of the only Lord and King of the universe, Jesus the Christ. I greet you on his behalf. May you really be blessed. And I give God thanks for keeping us alive today. There are people who are no more, of which most of my listeners will bear witness with me that there are people we knew just last week, but today they are no more. There are people who just existed lastly yesterday, but today they are no more. So it is always by God's grace that we are alive, and most especially those that are healthy like myself, all by the grace of God and by special mercy of God. These are reasons to always give God thanks, praising him and glorifying his name on a daily basis. May his name remain glorified in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Good morning from Valencia City. The time from Valencia City of Spain right here right now is 29 minutes after 11 in the morning. It is yet morning. Good morning from Valencia City. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where you are listening to me from, or when you will be coming across this video. I am going to narrate on the issue of killing of the IGBOS in Obigbo, which is by colonialism named Oyibo in River State of the supposedly Nigeria, according to order given to the military by the governor of the state, NYESOM WIKE, to kill Igbos in the guise of tracing and killing IPOB members, specifically in Obigbo, and not in any other part of Rivers State. And certainly there is no justification for that killing. But according to WIKE, with his low mentality, poor vision, and his subjugation by the Fulanis, he believes he knows what he is doing, while in all ramification, NYESOM WIKE is completely ignorant, he is ruthless, he is under spell, and he is a totally confused person. Beside his office, his status, and his money, NYESOM WIKE worth absolutely nothing. And this is to prove to us when I say that Igbo politicians are the most useless politicians on earth, that I am always right. I know what I am talking about. Even though NYESOM WIKE denies his Igbo origin of being an Igbo and denies himself of being a Biafran, that is because of his political interest and because of his own stupidity, not actually that he is right. And it is as a result of his ambiguity in whatever thing he is doing regarding his origin or whom he truly is or where he belongs to, his ancestral origin. WIKE is completely confused about it because of his political interest, because of what the Fulanis want to use him to fulfill for themselves and to the detriment of the Biafran and Nigerians at large. This is exactly what is happening, and NYESOM WIKE and the recent Lagos State governor are a typical example. So this is the case with the rest of them, unless those who will by any reason or by any means refuse to dance to the tone of the Fulani Caliphate and Fulani Janjaweed as a whole. Governor Baseki of Edo State is one other typical example of the politicians and the state governors being used, being subjugated completely by the Fulanis to be causing mayhem against the indigenous people, and most especially against their own state indigenes, from their own state indigenes and the rest of other people who are involved in the mayhem they cause. While they should be protecting the people, they become disaster to the people. So I am going to narrate on the killing of Igbos by Governor NYESOM WIKE in Rivers State, and precisely Obigbo. I will make another video which will be about his denial of giving the order to the army to kill. I will also make another video which will have the title of, I don't know how I will title it yet, but it will be about my reasons for saying that Biafran politicians are politically powerless. That will be, so I will have about 3 videos to make. But before I will proceed, bear with me, for a little while I have not been online because, as I announced before, I just resumed work, and the kind of work I do recently determines my time on a daily basis. So it is a kind of work that compels me to leave home by 5:30 in the morning, returning home around 8 to 8:30 in the night, being tired that I will only have to reorganize myself, have a little rest to wake up the following day to go back to work. But today being Wednesday, and November 4th, 2020, I didn't go to work. That is the reason I have the time to make this video. And my work will actually continue that way until the end of January, unless for any reason, any day I do not work, I will make a video, or for any reason I close work earlier, any day I will make a video. But today I believe by the grace of God, out of the 3 videos I will make 2. Then another day I will make another one. So that is how my program will be. I don't know exactly when I will be making any video until the end of January, when the condition of the work will change, and by then I will be closing work earlier. So it should be by then I will be continuous once more in making videos, either by biblical teaching or social activism. So may God's name be highly blessed. You are once again highly welcome. So let me see the videos I'm about to play for this analysis. Then I will know where to begin and how to analyze them. First of all, I want to play a series of videos. I want to start playing videos about the protest in Rivers State, and specifically in IGBOS, which is by colonialism, named Port Harcourt, and how NYESOM WIKE joined the protest. While he intended to stop the protest, the situation and the innocence and the justification of the protesters compelled him that he had no option than to support the protest, not actually from his mind, but the situation compelled him to do so. And there is a lot of significance in him joining the protest that day in the pretense of supporting the protest, while in reality he had intended and he was on a mission to stop the protest. So that is where I will start playing the video and analyzing them. I will play about 3 or 4 videos or even more, but I will know how to minimize them so that the program will not proceed 2 hours. Then I will be analyzing them after the end of the video. As usual, I will summarize and the program will come to an end. This is the first video I am about to play. This is a 2 minutes 32 seconds video. It was just the video just covers where NYESOM WIKE joined the protest. I don't want to go into detail on how the protest began in that very day and the other events that took place during the protest, but I want to just go specifically to provide us the evidence as we already know, and to have it in this to record it in this video that NYESOM WIKE actually supported the protest initially. So it is less than a 3 minutes video. It is Governor NYESOM WIKE speaking. He is the man speaking. He intended to stop the protest, but while arriving in the protest ground, the condition, the justification, the innocence of the protesters compelled him to pretend to join the protest, while in reality he wanted to stop the protest. But this is Governor NYESOM WIKE, as many of us have seen this video.
When there was someone kidnapping in this state, I raised an alarm to the federal government. They said it was politics. Right? That's okay. I pray to God that kidnapping, killing, and robbery will take over the entire country. I see nothing wrong with that country. That's true. Nothing wrong with that country. Calm down. Calm down. Now it's no longer politics. Nobody has suffered. No state has suffered in the hands of SARS like Rivers State.
A key word by Governor NYESOM WIKE: no state in Nigeria has suffered more than Rivers State. No state out of 36 Nigerian states has suffered more than Rivers State as a result of mayhem caused by the SARS. This is a key word, and this is a standpoint provided by NYESOM WIKE for joining the protest for joining the protest while pretending he support the people, but in reality he intended to stop protest. NYESOM WIKE is here authenticating the innocence and justification of the protest and the protesters. But for real, he is against them. He is in support of the SARS. He is saying one thing but doing another. This is a chameleon attitude of NYESOM WIKE manifesting. Well, after playing this video, I will play other videos. So you have heard him, NYESOM WIKE, complain about SARS killing the people, and most especially killing the inhabitants of Rivers State, or precisely the Rivers State indigenes. And now that the Rivers State indigenes have killed SARS members, the SARS began to complain. This is a statement from NYESOM WIKE in pretense to supporting the protest and the protesters, while in reality he is against them. He had ulterior motive, he had ulterior agenda against the protesters, and not only actually the protesters in general, but he is malicious against the Igbo tribe, which prompted him to order the army, sending them to the Igbo community in Rivers State to begin to kill the Igbos and not the protesters generally. we are to remember that the protesters here are not only specifically Igbos, neither are they specifically IPOB members as NYESOM WIKE claims. But it is a multi-tribal protest, and it is a protest covering the Nigerian territory at large. Anybody who is a member of the territory known as Nigeria, whether from Rivers State or any other state, the protesters are not only Rivers State indigenes. There are other people from other states living in Rivers State who joined the protest. So if NYESOM WIKE's command to kill the protesters is real, it should be to kill all the people who are involved in the protest. To kill all the people who are involved in the protest. But when he ordered the killing, he narrowed it down to IPOB and to the IGBOS. That is where he conveys his low mentality, believing he is intelligent, while for real, he is very, very myopic. Believing he is intelligent, he is very, very myopic. And I still maintain that WIKE, as a classical example, is politically powerless because he ordered the army in the guise of having political power, but for real, he was the person who should decide what should happen. But this is an instruction given to him by the Fulani Janjaweed. This is instruction given to him by the Fulanis. The Fulani terrorist Nigerian government from the federal level has instructed NYESOM WIKE to decree the killing of the Igbos in the guise of chasing after the protesters and killing the protesters. The protesters, which is a multi-tribal members, but he specifically began to kill the Igbos in the guise of chasing after and killing IPOB members according to instruction given to him by his Fulani slave masters. It is not that he had the capacity to command so, but he had no option. He had no option. This is what I am telling you, because his refusal to the instruction to kill IPOB members will cause him confiscation of his properties. He is under threat. His properties is under threat. His status is under threat. So he has succumbed to pressure from the Fulani hijacked Nigerian government, Nigerian military, Nigerian police. This is the situation in which NYESOM WIKE is into, which many people can never realize. And that is the reason I am here to analyze. Many people have spoken regarding this issue. I have not spoken because I never had the time, as I have explained. But however, I am here to add some vital ingredients, to expose some vital ingredients for comprehension regarding what had happened, and using him as a case example, reflecting to all other politicians, not only the governors, all other politicians nationwide, apart from the Fulanis. It is the Fulanis giving the instruction, and these people, in the guise of exercising their political power, they obey the instruction, and contrary to their own will. And this is the condition with which they are given political connection or political opportunity to the detriment of their own people and for their personal interests. This is exactly what is playing out here, of which many people can never comprehend. But there are people who are intelligent to comprehend it, and as much as other broadcasters have analyzed, many people have begun to understand what is going on. and what is going on regarding this incident of WIKE killing the IGBOS in Rivers State.
See them. We don't die for you. Don't die. See as them they shoot. See am. See the bastard. See the bastard.
Un sabor que no necesita filtros. Más cuerpo, más intensidad. Siente sus matices sin filtrar.
Parts of the country, including River State, in furtherance of its alien political objectives. My dear good people.
This is the video in which WIKE continued the fraudulent prostitution on IPOB, and him, in the guise of proscribing IPOB, he took it as a yardstick to killing the IGBOS in Rivers State and in Obibo, to be precise. Moreover, the protest is not a protest executed only by IPOB members. It is a protest belonging to all indigenous Nigerians. Then WIKE decided to proscribe IPOB for something that is generic to all of people involving in the contraption called Nigeria, both those who came out to protest and those who do not came out to protest that very day. All indigenous Nigerians are concerned about this protest. Even he himself is concerned about this protest, even though he does not support it, but he is affiliated with it. If not that he is affiliated with it, he wouldn't have given the order. But it is because he is against the protest, and he wants to justify his condemnation against the protest and the protesters. That is the reason WIKE took the action. This is a video where he once again proscribed the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, in the guise of proscribing the protesters, of which IPOB members are just a segment, a fraction among all of the members of the protesters. A protest that involve Nigerians as a whole. He specifically proscribed IPOB illegitimately, unlawfully, claiming he is a lawyer, but with extrajudicial rules, proscribed IPOB because he had ulterior motive and ulterior agenda against the IGBOS in the guise of chasing after IPOB members, believing that when he mentioned IPOB, all other people will support him, and justify his action. That is his mindset for taking this step and the action.
All of River State. The River State government views with serious concern the unending destructive activities of the outlawed Indigenous Peoples Organization of Biafra, IPOB, in River State. Recall that IPOB was classified as a terrorist organization by the Federal High Court and subsequently proscribed in September 2017 by the federal government. trust suburbs in Port Harcourt local government areas. More often than not, these illegal possessions have become regular occasions for armed IPOB members to disturb the peace of the state by unleashing violence.
He alleged here that the protest has been a yardstick for armed IPOB members to disturb the peace of the state, while in reality there is no armed IPOB members. IPOB members who joined in the protest did not join the protest as IPOB, and that they did not join the protest as IPOB protest. They joined the protest because all of us are victims of the SARS. All of us are the victims of Nigerian system. Like myself, I am an IPOB member. Then I am here protesting, not as a protest belonging to IPOB, but I am protesting that I am an IPOB member, but supporting the protest, which is a Nigerian-wide protest, because all of us are involved. Because what we are doing it for the well-being of the entire humanity, not only for indigenous Nigerians, but for the world at large. This is the vision of IPOB. What we are fighting is to maintain justice, equity, by speaking the truth consistently, calling evil, and calling good good. If that is the reason, even when IPOB members misbehave, they are punished. They are punished because we are here to set a pace with which people will follow to bettering our communities, our nations which are involved in Nigeria, Africa as a whole, and the world at large, to as many who will buy into our ideology, because we are the people whom God has appointed to support what is good and condemn what is evil. But NYESOM WIKE is against us because NYESOM WIKE hates emancipation of the people. He is one of the political tyrants holding Nigerians in political slavery and do not want them to be released from that slavery. And he is specific using the name IPOB, which is not the only people in the protest, because he had ulterior motive, and claiming here that there are armed IPOB members in the protest, while for real, the protest had not gone to that stage at that time this thing happened. And for real, even if there are armed people, there is nothing to prove that they are IPOB members, because IPOB members in that protest did not come with IPOB uniform. And if anybody wears IPOB uniform, that is not a proof that the person is an IPOB member until there is investigation, because some hoodlums or even some wicked political stock can pretend to wear IPOB uniform being armed, if such a thing really happened, of which it didn't happen at any time anywhere during the protest. So if it actually happened, Wike's own political thoughts can disguise themselves to being IPOB members, wearing IPOB uniform, arming themselves to tarnish the image of the IPOB members, while Wike will use it as a mantra to begin to hunt IPOB members and killing them. More so, the people he actually killed are not IPOB members as he claimed, but because he had already intended to kill the IGBOS to please his Fulani slave masters. This is exactly what is happening, what had taken place in the killing ordered by NYESOM WIKE, the River State governor.
And destruction on lives and property
he proscribed IPOB on his own illegitimately on Tuesday, 21st of October 2020.
Wicked and audacious action resulted in the unnecessary loss of scores of lives, including soldiers and police officers, and the destruction of both public and private properties, including police stations, court buildings, and business premises. Not done, they also visited physical violence on members of some targeted community which, but for the quick intervention of the state government and the security agencies, would have resulted in some form of internecine bloodbaths in the state. Today, IPOB continued with these devilish and destructive activities at Mokoshi.
Listen to his allegation, more of his allegation. His very malicious and furious allegation on IPOB. He calls it devilish activities, devilish and destructive activities of IPOB members. While for real, our activities is activities for emancipation, for political emancipation. For real, NYESOM WIKE is the champion of devilish and destructive activities in Biafra land against the indigenous Biafrans. From Biafra land to the nationwide, the Nigerian politicians, the Nigerian government are the people practicing devilish and destructive activities over indigenous Nigerians, while in reality, IPOB members, we, the IPOB members, under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, are the people who began protest by agitation. We have been agitating regarding these their destructive and devilish activities. Now he is altering the narrative against us by illegitimately and extrajudicially condemning us. And his confidence is that even the so-called Southeast politicians group themselves together with is it what is called socio-cultural apex organization known as Ohaneze Ndị Igbo, is it Ohaneze Ndị Igbo, Ohaneze Ndị Arụrụala. Since such people have grouped themselves and proscribed IPOB extrajudicially, this is exactly what NYESOM WIKE is in support of, and this is what he is repeating. And believe me that before NYESOM WIKE took the step of proscribing IPOB, he has had discussions with those from Southeast, from the so-called Southeast, who had in the past proscribed IPOB, their own people. NYESOM WIKE could never take such a step without him receiving approval from as such, and that is his confidence for doing such a thing and trying to change the narrative rather than announcing to the world that we, the indigenous people of Biafra, are taking the step of emancipating people from Nigerian political slavery, of which he is a leader of Nigerian political slavery. He is on the leading role. Then he is trying to declare themselves, the Nigerian politicians, innocent of the slavery going on in Nigeria, and condemning we, the indigenous people of Biafra, who took the primary step of emancipating the people. This is what WIKE is here declaring to the world. This is his hypocrisy in manifestation.
Open defense of the state government's curfew on human movements. Security intelligence and surveillance have revealed that IPOB has continued to expand its membership drive, holding meetings regularly and expanding its logistical base, including the maintenance of illegal detention cells in Emenike and other parts of Job, Port Harcourt. As a matter of fact, Wotan has practically become the group's main.
Listen once again. NYESOM WIKE mentioned places, about 3 places where IPOB members, according to him, had their activities. But when he ordered the killing of which Emenike, which is Emene is an abbreviation when it is written or called in full, it is Emenike. Emenike is a person's name and it is a man's name. Emenike in River State. Then Oyibo. Then, and one other place which he has just mentioned.
Human movements. Security intelligence and surveillance have revealed that IPOB has continued to expand its membership drive, holding meetings regularly and expanding its logistical base, including the maintenance of illegal detention cells in Emenike and other parts of Diob, Port Harcourt. As a matter of fact, Wotan has practically become the group's main operational base in River State, from which they have become
Emenike, other part of Diobu and Oyibo in River State. But while he ordered the killing, he was specific to direct the armies to Oyibo without directing them to Emenike, which is Emene, and other part of Diobu in Port Harcourt. Just see the sentiment and hypocrisy playing out in his comments.
For launching premeditated violence and terror on the state's businesses and innocent citizens. As a people, we have become very much unsettled by the terrorist acts and endure the continuing irritations, violence, destruction, and provocations of IPOB in and against the people of River State. We agree that River State is part of Nigeria, has always been a home for all Nigerians, and will continue to be, because this is our true character. But it was also...
He had made the comment of portraying IPOB and our activities. We, the IPOB and our activities, to portray us as people disrupting the peace and freedom of the people in River State, while for real, WIKE is the leading person of the killing of the operation of the SARS, which he had in the protest condemned. He is the person who approved them to operate in River State. He approved the army to operate in River State. He approved the Fulani Janjaweed police to operate in River State. He approved the Mieti Allah to operate in River State. He is the person who gives approval for the Nigerian tyrannical politics. And he is the leading man of the Nigerian tyrannical politics in River State. But trying to change the narrative that IPOB are the mischief makers, because our fight for freeing the indigenous River States and other Nigerians and Africa as a whole is a threat to his political tyranny. This is exactly what is playing out here. Many people may not easily understand.
be understood that River State belongs to the indigenous people of River State. As a stranger element with strange political ideology, therefore, IPOB has no legal or moral right to invade River State or any part thereof, therefore, at its behest, to disturb public peace and subject lives and property to violence or threat of destruction under any guise. What is clear from this behavior is that our love, accommodation, and hospitality towards all are being mistaken for weakness by with the banned IPOB. This being so, the time has come for us to sound this notice of warning that enough is enough. We can no longer tolerate this IPOB evil monster in Rivers State. Never.
Descubre la nueva experiencia 8.
As a government,
NYESOM WIKE had an intention of stopping IPOB operation in Rivers State, but he is clinging on this protest, on this Nigerian-wide protest, to continue his movement to stop IPOB operation. There is a video I saw online where he had once in the past condemned the IPOB operation in Rivers State and had attempted to stop it completely but could not succeed. And he had been begrudging IPOB since ever then until this protest issue began. Then he now see it as a yardstick to continue his condemnation and stoppage of IPOB operation in Rivers State. So there is something behind all his act. This is an intentional act of NYESOM WIKE. So he had not ever been happy seeing IPOB operating in Rivers State all this while, but he had been pretending because he had never seen any reason he will quit them, because there is no justifiable reason to stop IPOB operating in Rivers State. This is exactly what had been happening until he wanted to cling on this protest to do so, believing he is smart enough without realizing he is a totally lowly mental human being, but just have the privilege or the opportunity to be the governor of Rivers State and nothing more.
we owe our people and all residents the responsibility to protect their lives, property, and well-being, and to prevent troublemakers of all shades and character from violating our collective peace, security, and pursuit of happiness. Therefore, in view of the fact that IPOB has since been prescribed throughout Nigeria, and having come to the firm conclusion that the activities of the banned IPOB are not just dangerous to lives and property, but
He is now proclaiming that IPOB has been proscribed Nigerian-wide, but he also claimed to be a lawyer, and without having any justifiable reason for which IPOB should be proscribed. This is to tell you of the kind of useless politicians Biafran have, the kind of useless politicians leading the Biafrans, leading them blindly and leading them to complete subjugation to the Fulanis. It is the bidding of the Fulanis to proscribe IPOB, bidding of the Fulanis and of the Britain to proscribe IPOB, not because IPOB is actually what proscribed. And NYESOM WIKE, who claims to be a lawyer, who cannot provide any cogent reason why IPOB should be proscribed, is hereby opening his wide mouth to proclaim that IPOB is nationwide and Nigerian-wide proscribed as a terrorist organization, whereas the real terrorists, which are Nyetiala, Fulani herdsmen, Nigerian military, Nigerian police, the Nigerian SARS, the rest of the Nigerian government, and there is no greater terrorist in Rivers State than NYESOM WIKE, because he is the leading man of the terrorist government of Rivers State, terrorizing the indigenous people of Rivers without making their rights and their privileges available to them, suffering them for nothing, and protecting the interests of the Fulanis and the Briton who has employed him as their slave boy to continue holding the River State indigenes down. This is who WIKE truly is. But here disguising himself and trying to portray IPOB as the bad people while he dines together with the devil himself, just WIKE.
Also constitute clear and present threats to the existential interests and aspirations of River State and all our people. We have decided to reinforce, implement, and enforce the existing judicial and national ban on IPOB by putting a total and complete stop to his presence and our activities in River State or any part thereof. Accordingly, as from today to the 3rd October 2020, the River State government has outlawed IPOB from existing and operating in River State.
From 23rd, which will be Thursday, 23rd of October 2020, that the River State under the leadership of terrorist governor NYESOM WIKE had outlawed IPOB. But is he actually right? The answer is no. What is the proof that they should be outlawed? What is the proof that they are the people causing mayhem? Can WIKE actually defend his proclamation, his decree? The answer is no. This is the tyrannical nature of NYESOM WIKE in manifestation, and everything he is saying here is according to the instruction to promoting the biddings of his Fulani Janjaweed slave masters. NYESOM WIKE is a classical example. The same thing is the case with the rest of the Biafran politicians.
Or any part thereof in line with prescription order of the Federal High Court and the federal government. No form of possession and agitation by IPOB or any of its affiliates is allowed to take place in River State or any part thereof henceforth. Security agencies are hereby directed to stop any form of possession or agitation by IPOB in River State or any part thereof, and arrest and prosecute any person or group that identifies with the membership activities of IPOB in the state. Government will issue an executive order to strengthen and ensure the effective enforcement of these measures. I will be meeting with all leaders of each groups and community development committees in the state on Monday, 26 October 2020, to take holistic measures to counter and stop all IPOB activities in River State. Mr. Stanley Mbere, who is from One, is hereby declared wanted for leading members of the banned IPOB to cause the recent violence and destruction of lives and property in.
He said that the outlaw will be enacted from Monday 26th of October 2026, and Stanley Mbe, whom he claims to be an IPOB member, which I have heard of in one of the videos I saw online. Then I will find it later and I will make another video with it. I will not play it in this video. He has declared him as a terror and as a leading man of disruption against the indigenous people or against the inhabitants of River State by IPOB. Whereas this young man he is talking about did not actually engage in such of an activity, but that is to just use it as a mantra in the guise of in the guise of protecting the interests of the indigenous and inhabitants of River State in general, to end IPOB activities in River State, because he is promoting Nigerianism, which is slavery. And for real, Jason Wike never had the intention of ending SARS, but in the guise of joining the protest, he turned from ending SARS movement to ending IPOB operation movement.
In Eleme local government area, and a ransom of 50 million naira will be given to any person with useful information that will lead to the arrest and prosecution of the same Mr. Stanley Mbere. I wish to appeal to the people of Igbo local government area to remain calm and not to take the laws into their hands, despite the intense provocation, as government has the capacity to deal with the challenge and ensure the safety of lives and property in the local government area. We will soon carry out on the spot inspection and assessment of the destruction they may suffer and take appropriate measures to mitigate the loss and damage caused to lives and property. We hereby express our sympathies to the families of all those that have either lost their loved ones or suffered damages to their properties from the destructive acts of IPOB in our state. Be assured that they have not died in vain, and will do everything within our powers to give all the victims justice.
So, in the guise of chasing after Stanley Mbere, who is from Obigbo, he now tries to maneuver the indigenous and inhabitants of River State, promising that he will take care of those who are victimized by IPOB activities. While for real, IPOB activity has not victimized anybody. It is Nigerian terrorism. The killing of IPOB members are the people who are being victimized, because IPOB members have not begun to kill anybody, but it has always been Nigerian military, Nigerian police, SARS killing IPOB members, and in most cases, in the guise of chasing after IPOB members, they kill other peoples whom they have intended to kill and loot them, burning people's houses and properties, of which IPOB members have not specifically engaged into, because Mazen Nandekano had not given them the order specifically as IPOB member at any time. The such an order he had just given is just during the protest, and as a general protest, as a Nigerian-wide protest, hereby Mr. NYESOM Wike is lobbying the indigenous and inhabitants of River State to turn their hearts against IPOB members. And he set a price of 150 million who will catch or kill Stanley Mbere, whom he refers to the public as the leading man for IPOB's destruction, while in reality this Stanley Mbere had no such responsibility or activity, because IPOB had not ordered him to do so, and he had never taken such responsibility, had never participated in such alleged activity by NYESOM Wike at any time. Stanley Mbere is an outrightly innocent man, but being blasphemed, being blackmailed by NYESOM Wike to give the public the reason to condemn this innocent man. This is Wike's hypocrisy in manifestation, in the guise of chasing after IPOB members, and he ended up killing IGBOS because according to the instruction given to him by his Fulani slave masters. Then let me go to the next video.
See the bastard, see the bastard, see the bastard. There have been news and rumors surrounding the fact that there are boots on the ground in River State, Oyigbo local government to be precise, on the hunting and of course of the IPOB members, the indigenous people of Biafra and its affiliates in the state. It has been signed by Governor WIKE, Governor of River State. He gave an executive order that any IPOB member or groups or its affiliates in the state should be hunted down and of course prosecuted. And there are boots on the ground currently in River State. Of course, the Nigerian Army and the anti-riot squad are currently in Oyigbo local government, hunting and prosecuting IPOB members and its affiliates. And of course, there have been videos making rounds on all social media platforms of shooting and killings in Oyigbo local government, to be precise, in River State. There have been massive killings and massacre of residents and of course people that are living there in Oyigbo local government. And it has been even stated that it seems what happened in Lekki, Lagos State, the Lekki toll gate massacre, is actually repeating itself at this moment in Oyigbo local government. Well, this and what actually prompted this is what I'll be giving to you on Akrizi Network today. Subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell to get notified whenever I drop spanking and amazing content.
Amotka just appeared also. Amotka, I don't know what is going on, where the army is going to, the Nigerian army is going to, but there are many, they are in buses, armored tanks, and they are heading this Eliozu Road in Port Harcourt, the way that goes to the airport. We don't know where they're heading, but the army is fully equipped with to bring out armored tank into the streets of Port Harcourt. We don't know what is going on.
Before I will continue this video, you have seen it. It has been announced by broadcasters, public broadcasters, not from indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, not we individualistic social media broadcasters, but this is public broadcasters announcing it that actually NYESOM WIKE decreed that the army should go to Oyigbo and begin killing the IGBOS in the guise of chasing after IPOB members whom he had proscribed but who are not actually guilty of anything. But before I continue playing this video, this man you have seen here, okay, let me draw it a little back. Before I continue playing this video, I want to play another video. You see how the army prepared, how they began to move into Oyigbo. And we have seen a video where when they began killing, and one person whom they have killed, of which many of us have seen from other videos provided by other broadcasters.
Again today, Oyigbo tried again today. Again today, Oyigbo is dry. This is crazy. Oh my God. What is happening in Obibo? Oh my God. Everyone running away from Oyibo. Oyibo is really another place. Oh man. Everyone is scared. Whoa. Tension in Obibo.
I think you have seen how the street look like. People ran out of their homes, everywhere scanty and empty, because NYESOM WIKE had ordered the army to go into Obibo and begin to kill as much as they can. This is exactly what has happened.
Major road is free. Nobody's passing.
So it's just a minute plus video. Then I go back to the video, to the other video I was playing.
See the bastard. So now this bastard, they show this gun. See the zoo. See the zoo.
Well, after Governor WIKE, the governor of Rivers State, signed an executive order on the 28th of October, year 2020, that security officers and any security officers in the state have the right to hunt down and prosecute any members of the IPOB or its affiliates whatsoever, after proud to the fact that these IPOB activities in the state are considered dangerous and of course threat to lives and properties. It has been recorded that in the earlier,
according to WIKE's interpretation, according to WIKE's wicked, selfish and malicious interpretation, that IPOB activity in Rivers State is disastrous and destructive, while it is emancipating and in all ways beneficial to all people. But because of his instruction received from his Fulani slave masters to promoting Fulani agenda of jihad and the biddings of the Fulanis in general in different ways, NYESOM WIKE decided to blackmail, to stigmatize IPOB, using it as a yardstick to begin killing, not actually the IPOB, but IPOB is just a guise with which WIKE commences his killing of the IGBOS in Rivers State.
times and days of the month of October, that the members of the IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra, or its affiliates, had earlier been killing and shooting and of course looting of private and public properties. It has also been recorded that there have been burning of police stations, a charge of security personnel, of course killing of security personnel too. It has been recorded that there have been about 2 to 3 police stations in Rivers State that got burnt through the activities, through the nefarious activities of these IPOB members. And of course it has...
This broadcaster is lying in favor of NYESOM WIKE because that is what he is paid to do. The burning of police stations or killing of any or few of police officers is a generic issue. It is by the Nigerian white protesters in Rivers State, and it is as a result of retaliation by the killing of the protesters by Nigerian police. So that we must not forget, we should always reflect on that. What caused the burning of the police station? It is because the Nigerian police began to shoot and kill. They began to shoot on the protesters and kill them. That is the reason the protesters generically began to burn police station. NYESOM WIKE and these broadcasters whom he has employed, because these broadcasters are the sort who are paid to say what the politicians ask them to say and not to say what really happened. In the guise of bringing the news to the people, they keep on deceiving the people. That is the reason we are here, to bring countermeasure, to counterstate, to counter-narrate their own analysis, their own narratives, to begin to depict the lies contained in their narratives and bringing the reality and proper comprehension to the Nigerian public and to the world at large, so that people will not continue to misconceive us, will not continue to misinterpret us and continue to mistreat us. This is what the Biafrans have been suffering, which is most especially instigated by the traitors in Biafra land, of which currently NYESOM WIKE is the champion of the Biafran traitors, of the indigenous Biafran traitors, in the guise of trying to maintain peace in Rivers State. He is threatening and killing indigenous Biafrans and Igbo to be specific, while trying to keep promoting the biddings of the Fulani Janjaweed who had employed him as a political governor, because they are under employment of the Fulanis. They are not actually serving the interest of the people who elected them, who legally elected them. So the Nigerian election is just a disguise to confuse the people, to convince the people to believe that there is something good coming out from Nigerian politics, Nigerian governorship and presidential elections, while in real there is nothing beneficial to them. It is always for promoting the selfish interest of the politicians and promoting the detriment and slavery of the Nigerian populace.
It has also been recorded that before the EndSARS crisis and the EndSARS peaceful protest in Rivers State, there have been such nefarious activities that have been perpetrated by these IPOB members. And of course, it has also been recorded that during the EndSARS protest in Rivers State, especially the capital, Port Harcourt, it was said to be the headquarters of all the peaceful protests in Rivers State, and it was really, really a peaceful one, to be sincere. But it has been recorded that in Oyigbo, to be precise, that before the EndSARS protest actually started, it has been recorded that there have been killings and shootings of police security officers, and of course Nigerian police force in Oyigbo, and of course the burning of properties, burning of police stations, killing of police officers and the likes. And it was found out that these activities are actually perpetrated by these indigenous people of Biafra. Governor WIKE said in a statement released on Friday that he's not a tribalist, that he doesn't have anything to do with tribalism, he doesn't hate any tribes, and he believes that if you are peaceful and you want to live in a state and of course do business, that you are always welcome. But being an anarchic, just like the IPOB have been tagged by the federal government of Nigeria, that those activities won't be condoned and it won't be taken with levity in the states of Rivers, in Rivers State. And of course, Governor WIKE said that all these things actually started as a result of, the fact that the procession, proscription of the IPOB members. It was said that at the early hours of Thursday, a police officer got triggered happy and shot at a civilian in Rivers State. And after that, boys in that area went on a violent spree and started beating and, killing police officers. Also, it said at the late hours on Thursday, Governor WIKE came out and announced a 24-hour curfew in the state. And before it got to Friday, boys, hoodlums started looting private and public properties, and it was even recorded that there is this particular
hoodlums began destroying and looting people's properties, not IPOB members, but hoodlums. Hoodlums are not the protesters. Hoodlums are not IPOB members. Hoodlums are those who were and are still seeking avenues to go and steal. Hoodlums can be the part of the police officers can be among the hoodlums, but police officers in mufti without wearing their uniforms. Hoodlums can be anybody. Hoodlums can be members from WIKE's own community. Hoodlums can be people from this young man's community. Hoodlums can come from anywhere. Hoodlums are not even interested in protesting for the freedom of the people. Hoodlums are just interested in looting, but looking for avenue to venture. So actually, hoodlums are not indigenous people of Biafra IPOB as WIKE had claimed, and as it is being broadcasted. Hoodlums can be anybody. The oppression of IPOB is just a quite different oppression. All of the protesters are free. And we should not forget that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu warned the protesters not to loot in the guise of protesting. So the only people that can be justified among the protesters are those who broke warehouses to collect palliatives which actually belonged to them, and the kind of WIKE is the kind of governors who have seized the palliatives, storing them, marketing them to others. The palliatives that should belong to the protesters and the people at large. Jason WIKE is the kind who had also hoarded them, running business with the palliatives, which is food belonging to the people, and most especially during the COVID-19 lockdown, which was not actually provided by the Nigerian politicians, but seized by the Nigerian politicians, while the palliatives belonging to the protesters and the indigenous Nigerians at large. So, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu announced that nobody, not only indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, but all of the protesters should not loot. All of the protesters should not loot. And we should not forget there are hoodlums who disguise themselves to be among the protesters but have the intention of looting. So we should be vigilant, and there should have been investigation to know who is actually a protester or who are the protesters, differentiating them from the hoodlums, because hoodlums can also be sent by Jason WIKE himself to come and distract the protest and the protesters, then taking it as a yardstick to condemning IPOB and IGBOS as a whole, because he himself is originally Igbo, but had denied his IGBOS. I mean, NYESOM WIKE is an Igbo by origin, but has denied his IGBOS. So he can be the one also sending some hoodlum his political thoughts to go and distract, then using it as a mantra to condemning the Igbos and indigenous people of IPOB and begin to kill them. This is exactly what had been happening, and believe me that no matter what WIKE has said, he is still malicious and he still has the intention to continue killing the Igbos. Mark my word, and you see it manifesting as long as NYESOM WIKE keep on being the governor or holding a political office of any level which can empower him to command the killing of the Igbos.
There is this big and popular communication center where they sell phones and gadgets. It was looted before Friday morning. That was why Governor WIKE had to sign the executive order that have been given by the federal government of Nigeria ever since God knows when, that security officers have the right to, to arrest and prosecute any affiliate or any member of the indigenous people of Biafra.
From his lies, he says that a warehouse where the same phone, a communication center, a communication equipment center, where the cell phone, that is a media material marketing store, a warehouse, was broken and was looted. And WIKE, in his blindness, in his low mentality, commanded security officers to begin to kill IPOB members. Then, how did WIKE know? How does WIKE know that it is IPOB members who broke the warehouse and looted? Then who and who? How have we? Then why not WIKE providing those? WIKE should have provided those who broke the warehouse, who stole, presenting them to the public. Then it will be actually identified that they are the real people. Then before we begin to go to the step of who and who are they, which and which organization they belong, because it can actually be the WIKE's own political thugs that broke the warehouse. Then he alleged it on the IPOB. There is no investigation, there is no identification, and there is no proof. But out of the malice WIKE had, and according to instruction given to him by his Fulani feudal laws, he decided to tag them as IPOB members, using it as a mantra to begin to kill the Igbos in Rivers State.
But it was said that it's about making arrest and prosecution. But at this moment, these guys are, I think they are doing more than they should have. They are killing people. I'm telling you, serious massacre, shooting spree, right about now in Rivers State.
Okay, you have said the truth. I appreciate your truth. Thank you. The police began to do more than they should. It should have been something of arresting first, identification second, prosecution third, before determining their fate. But they just went outrightly killing according to approval given to them by NYESOM WIKE,
which have been making rounds on all social media. In fact, celebrities and social media users and influencers on all social media platforms, including Twitter, they are actually at this moment they came out to voice out their opinion about this issue. That I think the Lekki massacre is actually nothing compared to what is actually going on right about now in Rivers State. Well, I believe you guys have seen the video that I showed you guys earlier. In case you haven't seen it, go back and check out the video. Or should I just say, I'll be showing you the video right now on your screen. How people have been shot at. How, you know, in fact, choppers, they had to bring down choppers to this place. And of course, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, came out to say that he's not a tribalist whatsoever. That he didn't order the killings of Yoruba in Rivers State. Prior to his interview with Dele Momodu Ovation, he gave an insight on the problems of Nigeria. Of course, that Jubril Sudan is who we are actually calling Buhari, and of course other things that he made mention about. And he said his own role in all this issue is that IGBOS should have their own country, like they should segregate from Nigeria. But we all know that it's one Nigeria, you know, since day one. And at this moment, we believe the federal government of Nigeria would, you know, probably, and the River State government would do something about this issue at this moment, because you can't order a manhunt. And aside, let me chip this in. There have been a ransom of 50 million naira on one Mr. Stanley, who led the activities of these IPOB members in Oyigbo local government. It was reported that he was the one that led this assault on, you know, police stations and the killings, the brutal killings of police officers. It was said that about 5 officers were killed. Some of them were burnt. Some of them were beheaded. It was even said that some of them were, you know, chained, and they had their hands and their legs cut off before they got burnt, which is very, very devastating. Well, at this moment, we pray for Oyigbo and its residents, you know, and of course people that are residing in Oyigbo at the moment, that God will be with them in these trying times. Well, this is a crazy network. Stay tuned to the channel, subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell to get notified whenever I drop spanking and amazing content. Until next time, peace.
Release all our detained protesters all around the country.
Unconditionally release all the arrested protesters Nigerian-wide. This is happening in Lagos because they are all extrajudicially arrested and they should be released unconditionally. There is nothing to judge about it, because judging about it is promoting that is the idea of their arrest. Nothing should have warranted their arrest, and that is the truth of the matter. Release the protesters, but WIKE on his own side commands the police and the army to begin to kill IGBOS in the guise of killing the protesters and misinterpreting the protesters to be IPOB members. And he never made mention of Nigerian-wide indigenous protesters and protests.
Unconditionally, yes, very much. Unconditionally release all our detained protesters all across the country. Number two, compensation and justice for people that have been killed. You know what they did today? 4 a.m. I'm off one time. Them any money case. You didn't make one. Proceed to the toll gate right now. Meet me at the Lekki toll. I mean, is this on VI toll? Which one is this on? Lekki tour. We're heading there right now. Where we were yesterday, just say we were yesterday. Yeah, where we converged yesterday. We're going back there at the Lekki tour. Everybody did. They have made enough money for today. We're out here. No more money. Out here. What's it? NSAS. What's our demand? End all forms of police brutality. 5 for 5, bro. 5 for 5. What's our demand? 5 for 5. What's our demand? 5 for 5. And what? NSAS. And what? NSAS. And what? NSAS. We move. End police brutality. End all forms of police brutality. Reform the police immediately. If they do not, our 5 for 5 is very clear, and if they do not give us at least 1 to 3 immediately, we cannot stop. We cannot stop. So we cannot stop. We're not causing trouble. It's peaceful. It's completely peaceful. You can see everyone here. Nobody's causing any trouble. We don't have guns. It's very peaceful. We don't have guns. The iPhone we get. iPhone no be gone, no. iPhone no be gone, no.
This is a witness that the protest was peaceful until Nigerian police and Nigerian army began to kill protesters. But NYESOM WIKE never discussed anything about the peaceful protest. NYESOM WIKE never condemns the Nigerian army and Nigerian police who started killing the protesters. NYESOM WIKE never condemned his fellow tyrant politicians who approved the army and the police to begin to shoot and kill the protesters. But the witness confirms that the protest and the protesters were initially peaceful, and even at the recent time they are peaceful, but it is because the tyrant politicians began to kill them by approving the army and the police to do so.
Reform the police. They don't end well. Reform the police. So the police, this fight is for you to don't stand in our way.
This fight is
don't stand in our way. It's for every Nigerian, including the police. Don't stand in our way, man. Just reform, and police brutality. That's why we're here, man.
We're headed to the toll, to the Lekki toll now. Everyone's moving together. We need to go, Ginger.
Yep. Hello, Lee.
Join us, I beg. Join us. Join us at the Lekki toll right now.
Yeah, we're walking there now.
We have to keep the energy up. We have to keep the ginger up.
Park by the side.
We have to keep the ginger up. Alright?
What did you say?
By the way, man, I don't even think we should march. Our legs paining us. They should come and meet us. They'll come and meet us here. We'll talk to them here. We're setting up shop. At the Lekki toll.
Alright.
Setting up shop at the Lekki toll.
The commissioner first thing yesterday.
We don't
told you, go back. Go back for your governor.
Sure. Close down.
Go back.
Right here.
The team pain have gone.
What do we want?
5 for 5.
What do we want?
5 for 5.
What do we want?
5 for 5.
And what?
NSAS.
And what?
NSAS.
And what?
NSAS.
And what?
NSAS.
We move.
We move. 5 for 5. ASAP. 5 for 5. 5 for 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, we don't reach Togo. Link up at the Lekki toll.
No more money for you.
Link up at the Lekki toll.
Oh yeah, put that for video. Calling on Nigerians.
I think that we should walk to that.
Today was crazy. It was mad inspiring, man. So many people came out. I was just happy and inspired to see how many people came out, and it just made me know that it's about time. It's about time to take this struggle beyond social media. It's about time to take our complaints beyond social media. We need to get out there and protest. We need to let our intentions be known. We do not want SARS anymore. We're not asking for a reform. We're not asking you to come and do a press conference and tell us, oh, they are not allowed to do this, they are allowed to do this. This has happened multiple times. We need SARS completely abolished. And we went to the Lagos State Police Command today. We left a message for the IG via the AIG, and we let them know that on Tuesday, we are back on the streets. If we do not see SARS completely abolished,
we are back on the streets.
Despite Governor Wike's orders for the people not to go on with their protests, the people of Port Harcourt disobeyed this order and went on with it as they marched to the government.
The demand of the people Nigerian-wide is to end SARS, to abolish SARS from operating without any reason, without any consideration. Abolish SARS. That is the demand of the people. And don't forget that the people owns the government, and the government do not own the people. And it is the people who should decide for the government. And if the government is not satisfied with the decision of the people, they should resign. They should resign. They are not compelled to lead. So it is the people's will that prevail at all time in governance. That is the real democracy. The government must not be satisfied with the will of the people, but they are under obligation to obey and to execute the will of the people, or they resign from their political offices. So the demand is that SARS must be abolished. The people are not under obligation to obey the government, but the government are under obligation to obey the people. The people are the masses, the people are the populace, the people are the power owners, the political power owners. The people are the ones who placed the government in the office. The government are just people's trustees. When the trustees do not manage well anymore, the people are entitled to dethrone the trustees. So the trustees are then the disappointments. They are no longer steadfast. They are no longer confidential. So they are no more trusted by the people. So the people have the capacity to dethrone them, to resign them at will. So, but the Nigerian system is a system whereby the political manipulators become tyrants over the power given to them by the people and to manage the affairs of the people. So, according to this last, the last analyst, he is claiming that the people of River State disobeyed the law imposed by Governor NYESOM WIKE, while actually Governor NYESOM WIKE has no right to pronounce any law to stop the protest. But the people has the right to protest and tell NYESOM WIKE to shut up his mouth and do his work, or to resign from his office. The protest is what the people want. WIKE is not in the position to decide for the people, but the people are in the position to decide for WIKE. But in Nigerian case, the reverse is the case. That's exactly the problem we have as people, and that is the fundamental factors causing the whole upheaval as we see them playing out.
Governor WIKE later came out to address the people concerning the issue.
Governor WIKE initially vowed never to support SARS operation, but he eventually began to support SARS and began to kill the people in the guise of killing IPOB members, using it as a mantra to end the protest completely in River State. This is the summary of WIKE's role in what he has done and what he is still doing by killing the IGBOS, because he believes that the people, the IGBOS, are the scapegoats whom he can just kill at will, using them as example to instill fear in all other people so that they will not think about making any move to continue protesting because of the political tyranny he is championing in River State.
So all these lawyers now who come now to begin to tell you we're swearing NSAS. So why do they say NSAS for them? Why do they say so? Why do they say so? Nigeria would like to die for the gallery. I will not be a party to that. It is not only NSAS. Every Nigerian should support the total reform of police.
If you enjoyed this video, kindly hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I drop a new video like this. It's been your boy Miracle Jameson and I'm signing out.
So this will be the last video. After this video, the program will come to an end.
23 council chairmen and youths in the state to fish members of IPOB over the violence that erupted nationwide following the NSAS protest. Amechi, the Nigerian Minister of Transportation, who faulted WIKE's action in Abuja on Tuesday, asked the governor to focus on the real problem in River State and leave IPOB alone. He stated that Fulani herdsmen are one of the major problems the people of River State are facing. The minister said it is very funny that WIKE has decided to leave his administrative works to arrest and kill innocent people of Obibo in River State. What have WIKE done for Obibo people since he took over as the governor of River State? Instead of him to attack innocent Obibo people, let him go after those herdsmen killing people in River State, or better still, go after those with oil well who are not indigenous people of his state. This WIKE has decided to join the League of Saboteurs. Since he decided to become a saboteur overnight, he should go after the real problem, which is those that have oil well in River State that are not indigenous people. He should go after the herdsmen I saw on the street of River State, destroying people's property, destroying a lot of things, shouting that if they own River State. That is how cheap our people have become in the hands of Fulani elite. Selling their people, selling themselves to those people, making themselves vulnerable for these people to use. Look at Amechi. Amechi of all people is now the one advising WIKE that we all thought is different from other governors in Biafra land. He is now the one telling him to leave IPOB alone and go after the real problem of River State people. You send the youth to go and fish out the members of indigenous people of Biafra in River State. For what? Is it IPOB that protested in Lekki toll gate? Is it IPOB that was busy destroying people's property in River State? Was it IPOB that burned that oil mill? It was Fulani herdsmen. Instead of WIKE to go after Fulani herdsmen, he's going after IPOB. What did we do? Because the Fulanis have bought him over. You know, this man has been pretending before now that he doesn't go to Abuja. What is he going to Abuja to do? Those that voted for him, they are not in Abuja. They are in River State. It's River State people that voted for him. So he has nothing to go and to look for in Abuja. Without knowing that this man has been seeing or has been eating and dining with the Fulani elite. Without knowing that he has been called.
Hoy de postre, tus natillas favoritas. Las natillas con galleta y canela de postre.
With them. And he has been pretending, claiming hard man. Look at the pictures online. Bow on to the Sultan of Sokoto. This is the man that has been pretending not to be going to Abuja. Automatically, overnight, WIKE declared all IPOB members wanted. He prescribed all IPOB overnight. The only man that our leader have always praised, that he is the only one that is against this Fulani elite. You know, our leader said it before now, that the Fulani elites, the Fulani cabals are playing their last card, and WIKE is their only hope. This is what we are facing in Biafra land. The kind of saboteurs in Biafra land, there are too many. There are three many. You leave those causing problem in River State.
Those wreaking havoc in River State, you are going after indigenous people of Biafra that have done nothing. And it's now Chibika, Major of all people, that is advising you to leave IPOB alone. Go after those causing problem in River State. Go after those that have oil well in River State that are not indigenous of River State. Why do our people like playing politics with their own people's life? Why do our people drive joy in selling their people to this Fulani caliphate? What is their game? Why don't they learn from those that betray their people, those that sabotage their people's movement? Why are they still playing that same card? Why have they refused to learn? And if I thought that Gowon is really regretting what he did, wherever he is now, seeing what WIKE is doing now, seeing WIKE change overnight, he'll be like, this man don't know what he's doing. No? He don't know the kind of people he's trying to please. You can never please the Fulani headsmen or Fulani caliphate. You can never please them. What if you like? Kill all your people. You can never please them. This is WIKE that IPOB fought to keep in office. Biafrans did everything in River State to make sure he remains in office without knowing that this man has been dining with the Fulani elite. He left the problem in River State. He's busy going after IPOB. The only thing that for you to see that they bought him over, they told him do whatever you can to stop IPOB in River State, because IPOB, they know that IPOB will do anything to stop Fulani men from taking over River State. That is why they are using WIKE now. Every of WIKE's speech now is IPOB, IPOB, IPOB. As if IPOB is the problem of River State. As if IPOB is the Fulani herdsmen or that burn oil mill down. As if it's IPOB that was on the street destroying people's properties. Fish out all IPOB member. Do this to all IPOB member. As if IPOB now Amechi is telling him leave IPOB alone. Face the real problem of River State. Why has our people refused to learn? All the governors in Biafra land, they are now switched to the Fulani caliphate. Both Ohanes and Igbo, all of them. You can never please the Fulani elite. You see, WIKE, go and ask those that betrayed their people, those that sold their people to the Fulani caliphate. Those that stood against their people's freedom, go and ask them. You see, after the Fulanis, after using you to get what they want, they will push you out. They will disgrace you, they will embarrass you the way they embarrassed your Shomole, Tinubu. That's the same thing they will do to you. And after using you, they will push you out of office and put another person there. After using you, if I thought they want to conquer River State, they want to take over River State, or they want to take River State. After using you to take River State, they will push you out from there and put their own person there. That is what these fools don't know. This is what these fools don't know. After they use you to get what they want, after they turn you an enemy of your own people, they will now bring their own people and put there. You will no longer have to say. It's not now that you people are sending your people out. Go after IPOB. Fish out IPOB members for them. IPOB is this. IPOB is that. What did IPOB do? What was our crime? What did we do? Amechi is now advising you to leave innocent people alone and go after those that are causing the problem in River State. Amechi is now telling you to not to kill innocent people in Oyigbo. You should go after Fulani herdsmen or those that have oil well in everywhere in that state that are not indigenous. The Fulani elite many of them have oil well in River State. You're not going after them. It's innocent Biafrans. You should be ashamed of yourself for changing overnight. Even the flavors we have in Biafra land before now, they themselves they will be surprised of WIKE's action. They will be like, really, we are even better than this one. No? We did not change overnight, but this one changed overnight. He just woke up one morning and started attacking Biafrans. I prescribe IPOB. IPOB is no longer allowed to carry any of the activities in River State. As in who? You own River State. You only there. For some years, once your tenure finishes, I'm not sure you're going there again. You are just there. You don't own River State. And you can't stop Biafrans from carrying out their activities in River State. That is what you don't know. That statement you made is just for yourself. You can never stop Biafrans from carrying out their activities in River State. You don't own River State. You do not. You were only elected there to govern the people. But you have decided to join the League of Saboteurs. You have decided to work for the Fulanis. Let's see how it plays. Let's see how it goes. Some of you are clapping for him. Biafrans are not welcome in River State. River State is not Biafran State. Bad people everywhere. Who's everywhere? You people are not welcome in River State. Tell your governor to go after the Fulani herdsmen that burned down all your mill. Fulani herdsmen that are on the street, destroying properties. Not IPOB. We are not violence group. We only carry out our peaceful protest, go our activities in a peaceful way. You people should stop deceiving yourselves. These people will use all of you and take over River State. At the end of the day, none of you will have to say. And you people start calling IPOB. We need help. Let IPOB come and help us. And that time.
Imagina una compañía de fibra y móvil que no lanza ofertas para atraparte, ni te enreda con permanencias, y que además cuenta con la mayor red de fibra. Tienes salas, ¿no las vas a usar? Fibra, móvil y sencillez. O2, respira.
El digital ya no lo voy a dejar. Hay días que hay un 60% de venta digital.
¿Más digital?
Más.
¿Quién viene así?
Sí.
¿Y tú te esperabas eso?
Desde luego que no.
Los autónomos y los pequeños empresarios.
I will tell you that it's too late. Thank you, my people. God bless you. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to like. And don't forget to leave your comment at the comment section. God bless you all.
So you have seen how everything had taken place, and you see WIKE exchanging attire with his Fulani slave masters to actually convey to you that everything playing out in the killing and the order of the killing by Joseph WIKE is according to the bidding and instruction of the Fulanis given to him by the Fulanis. So the program has come to an end. May God bless you. I remain your humble servant, Evangelist Collins Inyuma, and you will hear from me once again very soon, as I will try to make one more video today. Then anytime I have time within the week, I'll make the third video any day. For any reason that I do not go to work, or for any reason, as I've said earlier, I come back from work early, as my work time is not guaranteed, but it is always me leaving home 5:30 in the morning, coming back 8 o'clock in the night thereafter, and being tired that I could not have the time to make any video. And here in Europe, after 10 o'clock, we should not be commenting loudly, not to disturb other people around, or to attack the presence of the police according to the law. So that is the reason I don't normally make my videos in the night, because I don't have a convenient place right now to make my videos in the night. But as time goes on, I'm planning to program on how I'll be making my video at any time convenient to me, not at the time convenient to the public. May God bless you for listening until you hear from me once again, and very soon.